Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
First of all, thank you for playing video games with your brother and letting us watch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Next week we're playing Secret of Mana, which I'm excited about. Right? We didn't play, if you haven't played this game, it's amazing. We did two-parter because we just kept playing. We were like, oh, I can't stop. Anyway, thanks.
Thanks. I have a question. Who's your favorite Dragon Age companion?
Who plays Dragon Age here? Oh, yeah. I heard, rumor on the street, is that at PAX they're going to announce a lot of stuff for the third one. Dragon Age is a role-playing game, if you guys are not familiar. And I think if you're not a gamer, you can play it on easy and have a really good time. It's really story-based. It's very much like high fantasy, like Game of Thrones, I would say is the biggest analogy that you can do. I loved Fenris more than you can know from Dragon Age 2. And I know he was really broody, and he hated mages, and he wanted to murder them, and I was a mage, and it never worked, and I tried to get that guy in bed all the time, and he could not do it. I kept romancing him, and everybody else wanted to marry me, and I was like, no! Get away! I want the broody elf. He would not have me. And then, this is a true story, I went back to replay the game, and I had my iPad in my thing, and I was like, well, what gift do I give him to like me now? Oh, there's a ring. Okay, give it, I'm gonna find this ring, and I literally courted him. I stalked him, and then I courted him. It was creepy. I was creepy. And he still would not do it, and then I felt dirty because he hated mages so much, so I had to be like, oh, I hate mages too. I was a liar. I was trying to get him in bed and lie. I was immoral, guys, and he still didn't have sex with me. So, moral of the story, have sex with whoever will have sex with you, I guess.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so with your work on Geek and Sundry and the Guild and now Supernatural and everything that you've done, you've kind of become an icon and an inspiration for geek girls everywhere. Okay, that actually answers my question because I was going to ask what your thoughts are on suddenly being in that role and if that was something that you always aspired to.
I don't think anybody should aspire to be an icon. That's a little self-centered. I think that inadvertently, I am very appreciative of the fact that other people look at what I've done and it's opened doors for them to either follow their dreams or follow their passions, or just be who they are. Because I don't aim to be anything other than who I am. Everything I do, I never, say I like something because somebody wants me to say that. Or I do something because I think people will want that. Or unless they're trying to get them in bed. See, that's what you shouldn't do. See, that was the moral of the story with Dragon Age. Be who you are and the right person will come. And, I really appreciate the fact that other women and girls can be confident in who they are, because I don't believe that there are a lot of role models out there to look up to who are doing things. I don't know, I feel like we could go on forever, but culturally, a lot of the women that we celebrate in media now are only there because of their looks, and therefore, and I think that sells a lot of people, sells a lot of women short. And if I was an 8-year-old, who do I have to look up to? Somebody who always has perfect hair and nails and isn't known for their brain. Well, we should represent more, and I hope that more and more women and girls come out, and say, hey, I'm just going to be who I am, and I'm not going to let that be my leading factor.
I never had a role model that I actually identified with until I started seeing you come around.
Well, thank you. You're making me cry. Thank you.
I didn't even make you cry or something.
Oh, that's okay. No, it means a lot. I like your skirt.
Thanks. I made it myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's nice.
My question is, you're frequently complaining on the co-optitude about how you weren't allowed to play video games as a kid. And for me, I never got into anything nerdy at all until the beginning of 8th grade. And I was wondering, when did you start getting into nerdy stuff? Was it later in your life, or was it right from the start?
I was homeschooled all my life, so I didn't really. Oh, I got homeschoolers in there? That's so I didn't have a lot of friends when I was growing up, which probably has its downsides, but also had the point where I didn't really know that the things that I liked were nerdy, or I didn't even have a label for myself. I just was like, oh, when I have free time, I like to watch Lost in Space, or when I have free time, I read fantasy novels, or when I have free time and my mom lets me, we did have a PC computer, so she gave us Math Blaster, which we then got games for, and then she's like, are you guys playing Math Blaster? I'm like, sure, Mom, you know. She had no idea what we were doing. So I enjoyed those things, and I didn't label myself. So I try not to necessarily label myself. I do think I'm a geeky person because I think the word geek encompasses a lot of different things. It's just about a person who loves something and loves sharing that love with other people who love that thing. You know, that's kind of the simplistic idea of geekdom, which you could say about a person who loves a football team as much as you say about somebody who loves D&D. So that's my interpretation of it. But I think that, you know, it was just something I grew up with, and I didn't really think about it as anything of label-wise or geeky until, you know, the internet started and you start congregating around certain things. I mean, I was a part of a fan club for Ultimate Video Games when I was like 12, and that was certainly, could be said, that's geeky. But I didn't know any better. I was just like, hey, there's other people who love this video game, I need to talk to them about it and maybe write some poetry that's really awkward and I'll never show it. So, I mean, and what I love is the fact that the internet has allowed people to, if they live somewhere where they don't see a lot of other people who love that thing they love, they can connect with other people and not abandon it or feel shamed about it. Because really, it's hard to love something in a vacuum. And that kind of support is really super important. And why conventions like these, I think, are amazing.
Hi, so my question is, one of my favorite Charlie moments is that she gets what I call the Captain Kirk storyline in the LARP and the Real Girl episode with the kind of, you know, the doomed romance. It doesn't really go anywhere, and it's just sort of that almost, you know, that plot episode that you know is just going to stick with that one episode. And I loved it, but I was really surprised because I think most people loved it, but I saw some criticism of people saying, oh, it's not deep enough, or what, you know, there should have been more meaning there. And I'm wondering your thoughts on, and kind of also with Charlie, that I think as female fans, we often eat our own and don't really praise the female characters as much, or we hold them to higher standards. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts on that are, with everything you've kind of seen in the genre and being around that for a while.
I mean, I don't know if there's like a dynamic between females particularly. I think that if I told everybody in this room, write 3 sentences about a cat, every single person's sentences would be different. Nobody's going to do the exact same 3 sentences. And I think that reflects people's opinions about things as well. I mean, if you say, what do you think about Supernatural? What do you think about this character? No, but I mean, there'll be some general consensus, but everybody's going to have an individual attitude towards that. And that doesn't invalidate anyone. I mean, certainly, a lot of people like Charlie. Some people might hate Charlie. A lot of people love Castiel. I mean, people are crazy about, either loving or hating Castiel. So, I mean, and everyone is interpreting that through their own worldview, and everybody's unique, so therefore everybody has a different opinion. And I think that the worst thing you could do is negate somebody else's opinion because your opinion is wrong. I think it's really fun to be able to debate and be able to have an opinion that may sway somebody, or like, oh yeah, you have a point, but I still believe this. That's what's awesome about it. But it's when people start getting hostile, or like, particularly, like pinpointing people who are behind the characters, or being personal about it. I think that's kind of like crappy. I mean, listen, I've been on the internet for a long time. I've seen everything talked about me. There is not something that you can say about me that I've never heard. I mean, good and bad. And the hard thing as an artist is to be able to surround yourself in sort of a little bit of a vacuum and not let it affect you, because yes, everybody would do something differently, but you still have to realize what I'm doing is unique, and be able to keep that sort of integrity to yourself. And for the most part, I love the fact that everyone has responded to Charlie in a lot of ways. And I think Pac-Man Fever, that episode definitely went a long way to deepen her storyline, and kind of make her more part of the lore and the world.
Well, just as a quick follow-up and to end on a little more positive note, are there any other sort of stereotypical male plot lines that you'd love to see Charlie take on? Like some of those cliche, like sci-fi genre, like plot lines that you see typically given to the male protagonist that you'd like to see happen with Charlie.
Oh gosh, I mean, wow. I mean, it would be fun to shoot. I don't know. I mean, there's so many. You know what I love about Charlie is that it doesn't feel like she's written as a girl character. You know, it's not that she's kind of a character, and her gender is incidental to it. So if she was a guy, it'd be kind of just as, and that's how you should write everybody. I mean, there's nothing worse than seeing a girlfriend you know is going to get kidnapped. That's the worst. Nothing worse. So, yeah. Hey.
And both favorite friends, and Cass just doesn't understand any of them. I'm wondering if and when they're gonna finally meet. How do you think their first scene for conversation is gonna look like?
What? Cassie and Charlie.
Charlie has so much talk about it.
Yes. Oh, he doesn't understand it. I would love to see them meet. I think it'd actually be hilarious because that they would not intersect in any way. I feel like that she kind of stared him like a bug. A hot bug. Yeah, I think it would be really, really cool. You know, I don't know if there's any specific plans for that to take place, but I definitely think it would be really cool. And the characters you could instantly see where the sparks would come. Or the anti-sparks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey.
Hi. With your series, The Guild and Dr. Purple Sing-Along Vlog and stuff like that, you're a bit of a kind of pioneer in the media web series and stuff like that. If you could travel back to the past and give the you that was just starting out with that one piece of advice, what would it be?
You know, a lot of people ask me this, and I've done everything the hard way, honestly. I mean, you couldn't name one thing that I couldn't have done easier. I did the vlog, I did 50 episodes of that. I never had a teleprompter. I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't know that you could get a teleprompter. I mean, just every single thing was done the hard way, but in going through, and to be honest with you, the last year, I went through a very bad depression, too, because of a lot of you know, burdens, like me not knowing that this business is a different thing that I knew that I was getting into, and having to adjust and wanting it to be successful and working way too hard. I mean, I actually had a lot of ups and downs in a personal way. And you know, people are asking me like, oh, would you go back? And I was like, no, because I know I'm a better person because of the mistakes I made better than any success. So the thing that I would tell myself 6 years ago would be, just enjoy the present moment more. Because I always felt like I was racing towards something and not enjoying the things right in front of me. So that for the Guild, you know, I just did a book that I wrote about the Guild. It basically covers the whole thing. Going through all these memories and seeing what the cast said about it. A lot of our experiences don't meet because I was so busy working. I didn't have the opportunity to really sit down and be like, wow, this is really happening. We're having fun today. And not to say that I was horrible, it was just, I know that had I enjoyed the journey a little bit more, I think I would have been less hard on myself, and as a result, I would have probably had less repercussions later from overworking and just taking on too much. So that would be what I would give somebody advice.
Thanks, Felicia.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. Hey.
Hi, I asked Rob this question yesterday and I actually stumped him. And then another fan explained it in a way that I kind of got, but I was wondering how you think Charlie knew about Cass. Because the books only go to the end of season 3, where Dean goes to hell. So the books actually aren't published where Cass is involved. And then Chuck's things, we only see them on his computer, so we don't know if they've been sent off or... So how do you think?
I would say that given some of the dialogue in Pac-Man Fever, that Charlie is familiar with Cass enough to know a little bit about his background. And I think that, you know, Charlie is a hacker, that's what she does, so getting information on people, is kind of her asset. I mean, that would be something. So, even if that lore weren't publicly knowledgeable, I think that there might be some explanation there why she knows a little bit more about it. Yes. Hey, was it good? Hey, what's up? Hi. Oh, good. How are you? Good. I love that. It's a drive-by. It's a kiss vibe. Hey, what's up?
I'll let him interrupt anytime. First, I'd like to say that you did a great job on Geek Week.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was really fantastic. My question is, can you tell us if you've been contacted by BioWare to reprise the role of Talos? And if you have, if there's any plans for Machinima to do another web series with her?
I would say the probability of doing another web series is very low. The web series went really well, but it was during a time when people didn't do web series of that scope, and it was very low budget. The kind of web series you see now probably had 5 times the budget that we did.
Considering the budget, it was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I called in every favor in my world, but it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and it was through sheer grit and determination that we ever finished that, and I'm really proud of it for that fact. I haven't been approached, but it's very early. They haven't finished. I would love to see Talos re-enter the lore in the video game world, because honestly, with the web series combined with the DLC, I think that she added a voice that wasn't in the canon of Dragon Age, and I really would love to explore that more. The Kinari sort of elf. People who don't know the game are like blazing over right now, but anyway, we can talk about it later. But it would be nice to have them back. It's like I know you're like, what is this girl talking about? 4 people know what I'm talking about.
Go play it!
Yeah. Never mind. Hi.
My question is, how does playing Charlie compare to the other roles I played?
How does playing Charlie compare to the other roles I played? I love Charlie because she is the most grounded character I've ever played. I mean, she's obviously not, she's not like blasé about it, but I think that it's funny that she is so self-possessed when entering this crazy world, and I think it's because she's used to fantasy worlds and loves being in fantasy worlds and has an alternate self that she projects online. I think that helped her adjust to this world that is hidden around all of us. So I think, I tend to play very flustery, very neurotic characters, very introverted, and I think Charlie is kind of the most grounded and most confident in herself of anybody I've played. And it's actually been, really good to be in her shoes because it's very grounding. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Felicia.
How are you?
I am amazing now, thank you. I'm having a really hard time not nerding all over the floor as I'm talking to you, so.
Oh, that's good. There's no pool or anything. It's weird.
As a woman, as a mother, I have to thank you so much for being sort of this new bold face for women in the gaming sci-fi genre. You basically put us on the map by showing the fact that we can actually be gamers, hackers, role players, cosplayers, not be completely crazy, and actually be within 5 to 10 feet of Sam and Dean and not want to sleep with them. The depth that Charlie brought, I think, to that, and bringing in this dynamic female role, which, as much as I love Supernatural, unfortunately, I do find there to be a lack thereof.
Well, they tend to die, right?
Unfortunately, it has a lot to do with Sam, unfortunately. So the fact that you were able to bring this really dominant character, stand next to the 2 of them, hold your own completely compared to the 2 of them. Not only that, but immerse yourself in this role to a point where playing off of Jensen, especially in Larger Than Real Girl, the 2 of you are moving the pieces back and forth. Well, Sam's trying to be serious, and the 2 of you are just nerding out together. Basically.
Yeah.
I felt really that you, as Charlie, basically were a voice for a lot of us in the fandom.
Well, thank you.
And I'm just really, really, really grateful that it's such an incredible voice, such a talented voice. And as I said, as a woman, as a mom who's gone out of her way to immerse her children in nerd culture, to basically say, actually, no, we are going to take over the world one day. I'm really, really happy that you're flagship to that.
Well, thank you so much for that. I have to give a lot of credit to Robbie Thompson, who is the writer. I think he's here today, actually. He was down signing, I think, so he's pretty awesome. Oh, he's here! Robbie, stand up. Where is he? There he is, right there. Every word is on the page, so I cannot claim credit for Charlie's ability to hold her own with the guys. I think it was so clear when you read the first script that this is a character that's really special.
But you really needed your strength to bring it, so.
Yeah, well, I get a lot. I've actually gotten a lot of offers for Hacker Girl in the last. That's what Codex sort of was my first that I created 6 years ago, and there are a lot of roles like that on TV, and I think Charlie stands out from that in a huge way because she's not defined by her characteristics of geek or lesbian or woman. She is a character with real feelings, real thoughts, and is grounded in such an incredible sense of reality that you can't help but believe her as a person. And she happens to like all these things, and that doesn't define her. And that's why I think that geekdom and nerddom is important to look at. There's a lot of backlash against women who are getting into nerd things and geek things, and I think it's really sad that somebody would be excluded from liking someone based on somebody else's opinion of your sexuality. And to me, I'm always encouraging people to forget. You have to forget about other people's opinions of you. And if you want to, there's a lot of hate out there. And if you approach your own love of something with complete love, you can't let other people's hate bash you. You really can't. You judge me all you want. I'll stand before you and still love what I love. And that's the kind of attitude you have to have. And that's what's important, to have a support system around you to be able to be that brave. So Charlie, if she represents that to even one person, male or female, I think that's super important. So she's awesome. So thank you, Robbie. Okay, I got 3 minutes. I'm going to speed through it, guys. I'm going to speed through it.
My question seems so stupid now.
No, it's good. No.
It's a Batman question.
Okay.
How do you feel about Ben Affleck being cast as the new Batman?
I have no opinion because I'll see it either anyway. We're all going to see it anyway. Why bitch about it, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Why be negative? Do you really want to have your whole social life be around hating somebody? Anyway. Hey.
Hi, thanks so much for doing this. Following from a previous question, I think it's absolutely wonderful that Charlie is a gay character who isn't defined by her sexuality. And my question is, has the LGBT community given you any feedback or response?
Has the other what community?
The LGBT community.
I've had a lot of people say that I appreciate this character because she's not defined by her sexuality. She just happens to be a lesbian, but she's a real person, and that's due to the amazing writing. And get to play somebody who just is who she is. So I love that. Tell Robbie. Robbie's a good mom. Oh, I'm hurrying.
I just wanted to say something and then ask a question, but
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you for your character Veronica from New Vegas.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Seeing like a confident queer character who's also a woman in a video game was something I've never come across before, and it was just really fantastic to have her as a main character. She was really awesome.
Thank you. She was really great, and she was a lesbian too. Yeah.
And I also just wanted to ask, what was it like with Neil Patrick Harris?
What is it like to work with Neil Patrick Harris? He's one of the most polished actors I've ever met in my life. He is so good that you can't see anything. You can't see the acting on him. And he's probably one of the most confident people I've ever met too. Like he walks like a panther. I'm like, Neil, do you panther walk? No, she lay on left. Anyway, so that's it. And Veronica, yeah, that's from Fallout New Vegas, which is great. I played 3 lesbian characters in my career. Veronica from Fallout New Vegas, Charlie, and does anybody else know the third?
Full House!
Yes! Dollhouse, which was a surprise because I did 2 episodes one season apart, and the whole backstory I had in the first episode I did was I was in love with one of the other male characters, and then Joss decided to make her a lesbian the second season. I was like, well, that's different, but okay. Okay, hi.
Hi, I want to know what your writing process is.
My writing process is to have an idea, write a bunch, cry, go back to the drawing board, finally do an outline, start writing, have a little bit of good time, then start crying again, then go back to the drawing board. It's torture. It's torture. I wish I could say it was easy, but just keep writing. Just keep writing, because you will always feel like a faker and a horrible shame. If you get through it, you're gonna have something awesome. Oh, last question.
Hi, I adore you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
And what was the first convention you went to as a fan, and what was your experience like?
Oh, my first convention I went to as a fan. I went to a lizard show in Austin, Texas, because I wanted to buy a frog. And it was a date. It was on a date. I was like, let's go get a frog. And then we saw Antigone after that. It was the worst date ever. And I didn't end up buying a frog because I felt so sorry for them. That I didn't want to buy one because I knew I was going to have to bury him soon thereafter. So that was the first one. And I went to Comic-Con for Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog, which was my first big convention. And it was the most amazing experience of my life because walking around with Joss and Neil and Mason was like you were with the president, you were with the entourage of the president, and it definitely set the bar ridiculously high, but it was one of the best memories of my life. So anyway, well, thanks you guys.
Holy cow! Felicia Day is here at a Supernatural Convention. How badass is this? Felicia Day.